If you came across this video, I'm guessing that you're either one of two people. One, you are a travel agent already and you're wondering, how can I get clients without social media? Because maybe you're overwhelmed by it, or you're finding it's too much for you, you feel like you're not getting the result you want from it. Or you're person number two, you're interested in becoming a travel agent, but you're seeing how people use social media and you're thinking, do I have to do that to actually have a business that pays me well, to actually earn full-time money from this? Thankfully, you don't need social media to have a really successful business as a travel agent. Do I love social media? Personally, yes, I do. I have a good time with it, but there are times where it makes me feel really burnt out. And I'm saying that as someone who helps travel agents do this. I have a done for you service, and it's still a lot for me sometimes, even though I enjoy it. So if you don't enjoy social media, or if you haven't been seeing the results you want from it, or if you want to become a travel agent and you're wondering, can I just not do this part? You absolutely can. So in this video, I'm going to share some ways that you can attract your ideal dreamy clients and build a travel business that actually pays you well without marketing on social media. Let's get into it. There are many ways to attract clients as a travel agent, both with and without social media. In this video, we're just going to focus on ways to do it without social media, but I do have other videos on my channel if you're interested in adding social media on in a way that feels more fun and light, and in a way that you feel like you can actually be successful. So if you are still committed to learning social media eventually, definitely subscribe and check out my other videos for more after you're done watching this one. But if you are like, no way, I don't want to do social media, at least not right now, then this video is going to be perfect for you. So basically, you need at least 2 ways to bring in new clients. And when I say ways, I mean at least one long-term way and one short-term way. There are so many different ways to do both. I'm going to do a very blanket, light, shallow introduction to all of them. And then you're going to see other videos that come up on my channel, both now and in the future, that focus on particular platforms and strategies, because it's just too much to cover in one video. But I think this will help you get a really nice holistic view. So first, let's start with long-term ways that do not include social media. The first one I'm going to mention is Pinterest, and I'm going to put an asterisk next to Pinterest because it's not social media, but some people feel like it kind of is. It's different in the sense of you don't have to show up and get on camera. You don't have to be all gussied up with your hair and your makeup. You don't have to be dressed a certain way. You can actually just create content, and we'll get to creating content in a second, which doesn't include social posts. And the nice thing about Pinterest is it's technically SEO. SEO stands for search engine optimization, and it's a place where people are already planning their trips. Many people, millions of people even, go to Pinterest every single month to look up different destinations, to get inspiration, to figure out the vibe of the place they want to go next. And the fact is, not many travel agents are on Pinterest. So just the fact that you would be doing something that many other travel agents are not would already put you a step ahead of the game. So Pinterest is one place. However, with Pinterest, the caveat there is you need to have something to actually send them to. When somebody finds a post on Pinterest, they're going to be led to a blog post, a YouTube video, a podcast episode, maybe even some kind of free gift you have for them. So you need to have somewhere for them to go, which is what we're going to get into now. One great way is through a blog or a website. I personally think every single travel agent should have their own website. You don't necessarily need to be a full-on travel blogger, but I do think it's really important for you to have some digital real estate. It legitimizes you as a professional. It builds your credibility. It makes people see that you're serious. So you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to set up a website, and it doesn't have to be super professional and amazing off the bat. I think as professional as you can be from the beginning is great, but don't put too much stress or pressure on yourself. However, when you write blog posts, which is just any article you see on the internet, aside from AI overviews and things that pop up, all that information is coming from something that someone posted online. And just like we have social media posts on apps like Facebook, Twitter, etc., we have blog posts on websites. Those are articles. Those are your recipes that you're always finding. So you are going to do the same thing, except for travel. And I should also say, as a preface to this, that you should have an idea of what your niche or your specialty is. If you haven't taken some time to think about that, I highly recommend it. And I will also say, don't spend too much time thinking about it, because people get stuck here and they deliberate for months or years, and then they never take action and move to the next step. You're just going to pick a niche for right now. It's not forever. I want you to commit to the same niche for at least 6 months, if not a year. And then after that, you can reassess, reevaluate, and see how you feel about it. We'll talk more about niches in other videos. For now, I want to keep really focused into your long-term and short-term marketing strategies that are not including social media, but it is something to think about because it relates to all this. So you're going to have a website that's either going to focus on a destination, a type of travel, or even an audience of traveler. And let me give some examples. You might have a website that says Cruise Mexico, which is kind of like 2 in 1. You have the destination of Mexico, and then you have the type of travel, which is cruising. You might have a blog or website that's all about a specific place. Maybe the city of Sedona attracts millions of people every single year. So I want you to take some time, if you haven't already, and like set a timer for 5 minutes. We're not spending a lot of time, and just figure out what you're going to focus on first if you haven't already, okay? So pause this video, set a timer 5 minutes, decide your niche if you need, then press play, and we'll move on. Did you do it? I hope so. Okay, so you're gonna pick your starter niche, and you're going to build a website around that. Again, I don't have time to get into how to start a website in this video, but I definitely have content coming around that. So if you're interested in really building a long-term platform that attracts people to you so that you're not having to go and hustle for every single lead and client, definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel because you're going to love all the future videos we have coming out. We also have the Pack Your Passport podcast to help new and future travel agents. So that's another great resource for you as well. And you can always drop me a personal question if you don't want to have it public, like the YouTube comments, on Instagram over at Travel Agent Haven. Okay, so we have Pinterest and we have blogs. And even if you did those two together, that would be a very powerful combo. But that's not the only option. We also have YouTube. I know that so many travel agents who are new especially are really scared to put their face out there online. And I'm just going to totally validate that it is scary, okay? It's really scary putting yourself out there, and I would be lying if I said I don't get in my head about appearance stuff. Like, I am very aware of how I look and how I wish I looked, and I don't want that to be a downer, but I'm just saying all that stuff that comes up for you, totally normal. And I'm going to say, if you want to succeed, you have to push through that at some point. We have moved to a world and an internet that is very much video first. So it's not a matter of if you're going to do video, it's when. I highly recommend just going ahead and starting with that as soon as you possibly can and then pushing through. Because the great thing is, especially if you do YouTube, well, now you have the actual YouTube working for you, right? You have anybody who just comes across your videos randomly, just like how you probably came across this one. And then you also have your own community. So when you launch a YouTube channel, and I teach my travel agents how to do this, you have a launch phase where you're telling everybody you know, hey, I started a YouTube channel. So that even if they're not planning a trip right now, even if they're not booking with you right now, now you have a way to kind of nurture them, is what we call it in the marketing world, to teach them, to educate them, so that when they are ready, you are the person they go to. Okay, so I love YouTube for this, and also because it has your face in there, you are showing off your personality, you build that know, like, and trust factor so that you are the person they think of. And if you think about the specific destination, type of travel, or type of traveler, if you're a ski expert and you're sharing about all these different places you've skied and been to, they're going to think of you when it comes to planning their ski trip. One person who's done really well at this is Victoria. She's a colleague of mine in the UK, and she has built an amazing TikTok following with content all about Formula One racing. So the more specific and niche you can get with the destination, the type of travel, or the type of traveler, the better. And if you can combine 2 or more of those, perfect. Similar to YouTube, if you don't want to do YouTube specifically, you can do a video podcast. Note the asterisk, I said video podcast here. I know that there are many audio only podcasts, but I'm going to highly recommend you do a video first podcast. Here's why. 1, if you decide that you want to upload them all to YouTube later, you have the option to do that. If it's audio only, you don't have as many choices. 2, you can take those video clips, and later, if you do decide you want to do social media, when you have more money, time, resources, bandwidth, whatever, you can repurpose those YouTube videos, or I should say video podcast episodes, into short clips for social media. So starting with video really does give you more options. Even if it is going to be a podcast, I highly recommend recording the video as well. But podcasts are great because many people feel like they have to have a certain personality, or that they have to be really animated or whatever for YouTube. I don't think that's true. I think there's a lot of evidence to disprove that. But if you feel like, okay, but I can talk and I can have serious conversations, I can share value, I can interview people, then start a podcast. Podcasting is great. And by the way, just because you start a YouTube channel or a video podcast doesn't mean that all of your videos have to be 20, 30, 40 minutes long or 3 hours long like Joe Rogan. You can have videos that are 10 or 15 minutes long that can be jam-packed with value for the person who comes across them, but that's still very doable and sustainable for you to keep up with. And then another great way is through a live show. Now, this is something that can be done on social media, but it can also be done on YouTube. It can be done really just about anywhere you want to have it. And the simplicity here is that you are showing up live with people who go and meet you live. Now, I'm going to give an example that is on social media, but I'm going to give another example that's not. So my example on social media is one of my travel agents, Heather. She goes live every single Tuesday. She calls it Travel Tuesday, and she shares some tips and advice and deals all around cruising. So people who love to cruise know to follow her and tune in for this, and people have often shared her lives or tagged other people on those live streams so that people want to come and watch and learn more and then eventually book with her. And she has had people actually book trips and book travel with her directly from the live stream, so that works. Now that's on Facebook, which is with social media, but if you wanted a non-social media suggestion, you could do it on YouTube. Now usually this is available after you have so many subscribers and after you have some verification done. So I would recommend pairing a live with a YouTube channel, but if you're going to do that, I would say build up a YouTube channel first, maybe 6 months to a year later, then add on a weekly live show. But you really get to choose how you do it. I mean, there are just so many options. You can also do a live podcast, right? Which is kind of fun. So the reason I like lives is that you don't have to do as much editing or post-production. You can just record and go, and it kind of removes that mental hang up for you of having the perfect appearance or camera or mic, because you're just recording in real time. And what I really love about live streaming is you can take those lives that you record and repurpose them into other content later. So that can become a podcast. Those can become YouTube videos. Those can be repurposed for social media if and when you decide to add that to your marketing strategy. So we've covered Pinterest, blogging, YouTube, a video podcast, live streaming. Not everything has to be done online though, okay? So now let's talk about some long-term marketing and lead generation strategies that are done completely offline. One of those is through good old-fashioned networking. If you haven't already, I have a video that walks you through this whole process of how to generate leads one person at a time, which is how it's always done. It's a video called How to Get Your First Clients as a Travel Agent with No Experience. I'll be sure to link it down in the description below, but you can also find it on my channel, and definitely subscribe if you want more tips like that, because I'm sharing everything I've learned over all the years of working in the travel industry in general, and since becoming a travel agent myself and learning how to do this full time in 2020. And the really cool thing is you can learn from all the other travel agents I've mentored, because they all have slightly different strategies, personalities, etc. Okay, so you could do in-person networking. You can also do, now this is kind of long-term, kind of short-term, but you can also go to trade shows. This is going to be very closely and deeply related to your niche. So for example, if you do honeymoons, destination weddings, romantic couple getaways, then look and see if there are any wedding expos coming up in your home city. That would be a great place for you to rent a booth, to set up a vendor stall, maybe have a spinning wheel or something interesting to draw attention, and just talk to people. You will learn so much about your ideal client from just talking to people, seeing what they want, what they need, what kind of trips are they looking for, which destinations are they interested in, which suppliers or packages are they most interested in. If you're seeing that everybody's really drawn to a particular place that you maybe didn't think that would be, then that's something you want to note down and focus on for next time, or maybe even switch up your niche and your content that you eventually will create, because you're not getting out of that one. You got to create some kind of content about that specific topic that really resonated with them. Okay, this is kind of a short-term strategy, also offline, and that is by hosting a giveaway. Now, this is something that can also be done online on social media, but it's something that can be done in your home or really wherever. I know that many network marketing and direct sales companies, they have really popularized the idea of having a party or even a webinar, and they just call it something else if they're doing it online. But you can do the exact same thing, just not the way that they do it. But it's the same strategy in the sense of you have some kind of event. It can either be in your home or it can be somewhere else, and everybody who either enters, like if they have a guest book, you can have them put their name and email address there. You collect their information that way, or you have some kind of a giveaway. You can give away a free night at a hotel, something that you pay for. There are incentives sometimes, depending on which host agency you work with, where they give you so many different things and you pay like $50 and you get like $200 worth of credit. You can decide what you want to do. I've even seen people do really simple ones online where they will do a drawing for a $50 Starbucks card and people will enter for that. So you just have to know your audience a little bit, also know what's around you. Obviously, if you live in a small town and there are no Starbucks nearby, then that might not be the best thing. But think about what your people want. Who are your travelers? Who are the people that you really want to work with? If you don't know that yet, then that's definitely something you want to think about when it comes to your niche. It's going to give you so much clarity and help you really focus and go further faster. Okay, another way is by asking people who have already booked with you if they're planning another trip soon. You're going to reconnect with them, send them a message and say, hey, I loved working with you on our last trip. I'm so glad you had a good time. Are you planning any other trips right now? And this is kind of a variation of that exercise I give in the other video. But if they say yes, great, you've got a client and you can start booking. If they say no, say that's okay. Do you know anyone else who is? That follow-up question is always gold because it's going to get you in front of the person who is booking more immediately. Travel is a very urgent field. People only search for these things when they're actually looking to plan and book. And many travel agents make the mistake of trying to speak to people and say, this is why you should take a trip. Here's why you should go to this place. And that can be good for things like Pinterest, for YouTube, as a content creator. But as a travel agent, you actually want people further down in their journey when they are ready to book. You want to talk to people who are ready to put their credit card down, okay? Because those are the people who are ready to book with you. You don't want to talk to somebody who might travel someday, maybe. You want to talk to people who are actively planning trips right now. That at-home party strategy works really well. If you are willing to go online and do something over Google Meet or Zoom, having an online party works really well. And I will say you can do these in a fun and non-cheesy way. I've done a Greece trivia night where we did fun things about Greece and I got to kind of show off the destination, right? I showed off the photos and guess what? At the end of the party webinar, I said, guess what? We're doing a sailing trip to Greece. Who wants to go? And I had this really amazing banger offers for anyone who was on the call to say like, if you book your spot or pay your deposit before this call ends, you will also get X incentive. So it does take a little bit of planning and thinking in advance, but if you can do that, you're going to set yourself up in such a good position. And once that happens, once you get a few bookings and you get them posting online and you're sharing their posts, if you're on social media or if you're not on social media, if you get their testimonials and they're willing to refer you, that's amazing. And that goes to our next strategy, which is kind of long-term, kind of short-term, but it's offline. And that is good old referring and networking. You can either set up a referral incentive to where when someone refers someone to you 5 times, you might get them something sweet or you give them some kind of discount on something. I know discounts are hard as travel agents because we're not selling a product that we really get to choose how much it is, but you can think about that. Like how much do you make from a typical booking? Usually for a small one, it might be like $250. For a bigger one, it might be thousands. And then how much from that commission that you're going to take home are you willing to put towards incentives and referrals? And that's something you want to think about and plan. It's kind of like having a whole program. And then this is a long-term and short-term one. Sometimes it can pay off right away, and that is networking. I mentioned networking before, but I went a little deeper into referring. So networking is great because, especially if you know other business owners in your area, like maybe you know some real estate agents, maybe you know some people who do like direct-to-consumer farming. I mean, whoever it is, if they are another business owner and they know that you're a travel agent, you guys can refer to each other. I know one travel agent in the area where I used to live who absolutely killed it because she went to all the different coffee shops around and she put her cards and her flyers in there and she made sure the coffee owner knew who she was and what she did and they would refer to her all the time. So if you get really clear about what you are about and what you do and who you book for, it's going to serve you so well. Another way that's kind of long-term, kind of short-term is getting your information in directories and listings. And I've got to say, I have never had a booking from this personally, but I do know people who have, and I think this works best for people with really specific niches. So Victoria with Formula One, for example, it would make a lot of sense for her to be in directories because her niche is so unique and specific that people who are looking for that kind of assistance might not find a Formula One travel agent anywhere else. If you're a little more general, like all cruises or all of the Caribbean, might not be as beneficial for you. But for example, maybe it depends on the directory because if you're a cruise specialist and you get your directory on the Cruise Line International Association, CLIA, then yeah, it might be worth it. So you have to do a little bit of decision making there and see what's going to be the most worth your time and possibly money. Some others that can be both long-term and short-term. One is partnering with hotels. I kind of already mentioned coffee shops, but hotels are great because that's where people are already traveling. And depending on who they are generationally, some people do still look for travel agents both that are local to the area where they're in. So if you're booking all travel and all of your clients are local to you geographically, that's something you can consider. And I love email marketing. You're going to hear me talk about email marketing a lot on this channel. I love email marketing because you don't have to deal with algorithms. You don't have to worry about content creation burnout. Now, writing emails is a type of content creation, I guess you could say, but it's not the same as gussying up again. And even for video, all the work you have to do because you can type in your pajamas. does. So I love email marketing. And while that's usually a long-term game, I have had people book with me right away from being on an email list for a very short amount of time. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, email list, lead generation, freebies, opt-ins, I get it. It's a whole thing. Definitely check out my other video. I think it's actually on the Pack Your Passport podcast playlist about generating leads with bundles. That would be a great one to watch next if you're interested in growing your email list and getting leads as a travel agent. Final thoughts here. You do not need social media to grow your business to be very financially successful. I personally love social media and I feel like it can add fuel to the fire. But if you don't even have the kindling going yet, like let's focus on building the campfire first before we try to make this into a wildfire, okay? And you do that by positioning yourself as an expert, knowing what you're an expert in, and getting yourself in front of the people who are most willing to take advantage of and be interested in that expertise and actually be ready to book. So that, whether you do it online with content, whether you do it offline with referrals and networking, is totally up to you. You can do both or either, or you can come up with something completely different. I've seen people get into postcards, direct mail, so you can choose how you do it. It's all about attracting quality clients who are ready to book and positioning yourself in a place where they can actually find you, whether that's online with Google, on Pinterest, or at a vendor fair. Thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Brittany. I'm the founder of Travel Agent Haven, and I love creating helpful videos for people who are both travel agents already and thinking about becoming travel agents. So if you haven't already, go ahead and give this video a like. It helps other people discover this video. And if they're also burnt out on social media, they need to see this. And then if you have some tips or something that's been working really well for you, or even if you have a question that you don't mind others seeing, go ahead and drop it in the comments below. If you'd rather ask me a question without other people seeing, you can send me a DM on Instagram over at Travel Agent Haven. And if you know you need help with this, I have one-on-one coaching sessions that I do. You can either do a one-on-one, one-off, like one-time thing, or you can do a package if you know you're going to need long-term or ongoing support. You can find all that information down in the description below. If you're not a travel agent yet, I would love to help you get started. And let me just say, the fact that you found this channel means you're like months ahead of other people. Let's help you get years ahead of other people and get this to a full-time income so you have some more choices. You can become a travel agent with the link I have down in the description, or you can send me a DM on Instagram and we can talk more about it. Bye for now.